そして閉幕の鐘が鳴る。その目覚めは誰のものか。
Here we are, after defeating our final opponents. Anyway, folks, hello and welcome back to some more Fate Extra. On our last episode, we did defeat Leo Harway and his servant Gawain, although it did require a retry, admittedly, because we did get a bit caught out on our first attempt. But after that little trial and tribulation, here we are now. Anywho, let us continue henceforth. After winning the fight, I have returned to the now lifeless school. Almost all the people are gone. I'm the only master. I'm the last living human in this tournament. If human is the right word. Even all the NPCs that used to be here are now gone. There's no more use for them. The Holy Grail War ends here. Only the master and servant who won the Holy Grail War remain. Plus one system anomaly. In any case, the path to the Holy Grail will open for the winner. Where could it be? While thinking about how annoying looking for it would be. Congratulations. You have crushed the dreams of all other Magi. That is to say, you have won. The Holy Grail War ends here. A voice echoes through the speakers. It's a voice I've heard before. It was the voice I heard when I met my servant at the very end of the preliminaries. It's the guide created by the Holy Grail War system. It must be based on a real person too. The path to the Holy Grail is open to you, Victor. Pass through the door to the battlefield once more. I still don't have any answers. Maybe they'll come once I get to the Holy Grail. Well, one thing I want to have a little look-see at is our room. See if Nero has anything new to say after our victory. Hello, hello, hello. The time has finally come to leave the Seraph and head to the core of the moon cell. Oh wow, this one ain't voiced. I shall miss this place, even this room, but it can't be helped. Life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. I recommend you make your final goodbyes now. Ooh. Right to who then? To the first floor. Hello there, Papakoto. Aren't you the eager student, even though you no longer have need of a teacher? Or are you that fond of me? No, I'm not. In fact, I'm pretty done with this bitter priest. But like it or not, he has always been instrumental to my training and advancement. Even though he's nothing more than an AI, I wanted to say goodbye. You're a good student. Very well. Goodbye. Let me offer some final advice. It is not brave, but the Holy Grail won't be going anywhere. Advice? What advice could the father have now that the fighting is over? Well, this isn't to guide you through a fight, but to enlighten you about what you will receive shortly. It may be fairly late in the game to ask this, but what do you know of the Holy Grail? I already know the basics to it. It is a supercomputer within the moon meant to observe, also known as the Moon Cell Automaton. It is an archive that has recorded the history of Earth, or rather mankind, since antiquity. And Magi fought to the death to determine ownership of it. That's good for starters. Still, you need to know a few more details. As the last master, you ought to know. That crystal is the Moon Cell. Only in the past century has it become called the Holy Grail. An all-purpose wishing machine. Who decided the Moon Cell would only observe, I wonder? Forcing other functions upon what is primarily an observation device is generally impossible there. But the all-seeing eye is lacking the rest of his head. Though all-seeing, the Moon Cell is not a god. It obeys the laws of physics like everything else, such as the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Phenomena that are not observed do not exist. By the same token, all things that are seen must be seen, even things that are not generally considered to exist. The Moon Cell is a very complete database. It records many ifs as well. With such operational power, the Moon Cell can both elucidate the past and provide foresight. What you are heading towards is the knowledge of the future, a place where every human wish and desire exists. A place to spy upon the future, on that terrible knowledge, much like what Lapis envisioned. The moon has no will of its own. Intelligence is a distortion of pure observation after all. But if someone with a will could harness the moon cell, they would see all of their wishes granted. The validity of one's motives, or even the very presence of motive, is inconsequential. All that matters is that the winner of the Holy Grail War is strong. Just strength. And a moral priest like Kotamine would reduce human struggle to that. Does the moon cell, Holy Grail, desire strength? Or is it that the conclusion reached by whoever created this priest? That is all. Did it help? What all of you have been crawling over is nothing more than the moon cell's surface. Go forth, reigning master. Deep in the moon, the ring of fire awaits your answer. I will wait in front of the arena. If you find it hard to leave the moon cell, come find me. Okay, now we could start heading over there. That would actually lead us to the moon cell, I believe. But there is one thing that we can't do. We can't do the secret boss. There would normally be a trigger, I think, for that. The reason as to why we can't do the holy... Oh, let me rephrase that. The secret boss is because we're not in a New Game Plus file. That will be saved for my future playthrough with Caster. If I can fit in between, I might just replay this game quickly with Nero, just to get back up to this point. But it's just the fact that I'd have to do all the regrinding anyway, and all the side quests again, so, you know. But anywho, the Holy Grail War has ended, and all that remains is to proceed to where the Holy Grail lies. Upon our arrival, something's taking place that we do not understand. There is no reason for the system NPC to know anything more, but with our preparation, we should be fine. The shop and church will be usable. Go if you feel the need. If you want more training, you can feel free to use the arena, as it has been reopened. You no longer have to observe the 6-day prep period. Come and go as you please. So, you will go to the arena? I'll go. Very well. If that's the case, I wish you well. Now, I don't think we would need to grind here. You know, let's read. The Seraph is imprisoned within the Holy Grail. The corrupt server of the Imaginary Sea. At last, the purpose of the moon cell is fulfilled. Coolio. But I believe you would find the secret boss here. If you were on a New Game Plus and you did the trigger. The trigger to unlock the secret boss is completing all of Taiga's side quests, which we did. And then there's, I believe, something that you interact with that would spawn the secret boss. But alas, we're not on a New Game Plus. Random edit ahoy. Well, it's not so random because I just finished up my grinding here. Wouldn't be anything too exciting to watch. It's just me grinding a bunch of Nephilims and whatnot. But we'll just have a wee run through the arena so that you guys can see the remaining bits of it. Now, if we did have the secret boss unlocked, I believe they would have spawned somewhere around here. Could be wrong, though. I don't really see anywhere else that they could have spawned. But we do not have the secret bush. So now, after our grinding, I guess we'll just quickly head to the chapel and fix up our stats. Oh, these two are still here. Yes, I want to do an alteration, Alco. You know what? Yeah. Over 200 strength? Why the heck not? Nope. Oh, so what say you, Toko? Your fight's over? I see. So as to be an exchange of info, aren't you the perceptive one? Nothing else? Nope. That's all, folks. Okay. Right, so you just want to change our formal wear. I guess we'll visit Sakura one more time as well. So I want my strength buff. No, the big one. The beefy one. First floor. Oh? Oh, she's not there. Okay then. Sure. I thought Sakura might have still been there. I guess we'll just head out then. May I go with you? The fight is over, I see. Thank goodness, for I no longer wish to part from you. Yes, the whole girl war is over. I don't see any more problems. Even I'm worried about Rani when she's away. I don't object. Open the last door. We're well prepared. The entrance to the battlegrounds is still the same dreary elevator. The same elevator travels to the arena, but the display indicates a much greater depth. Once I'm inside, the doors close heavily and the rectangular box begins to move. Oh. A pathway.
思えばなかなかに得難い戦いの連続だったな。わずか7戦とはいえ、それぞれが特徴に満ちたものだった。まあ、共にするのはこの私である。相手は人類史に冠たる英傑たちなのだから、無難なものになるはずもないのだが。出会ったばかりの頃のそなたを思うと、つい方が緩む。あのひな鳥がよくここまで成長してくれた。世は自分のことばかりで、人を導くことはついぞなかった。導いたつもりでも、それは誤った多くの人生を踏みにじるものだった。だからこそ今は嬉しい。そなたはもうどこに出しても恥じることのない立派なマスターだ。唯一しくじったと思うのは、そなたの欲のなさだね。そなたは聖杯にかける願いはないという。それは間違いだ。実現するかしないかは別として、願いあっての人間だ。世を見るがいい。英霊となった後もこうして人生を楽しんでいる。そしてだ。今の世の楽しみは、そなたの笑顔を見ることだ。それくらい良い戦いだったのだ。人を愛するばかりで、愛されたことがない私にとって、実に得難い戦いだった。人に思われるというのは、では参ろう、我が思い人よ。この先に何があろうと、そなたには軽やかであってほしい。そのためなら、私はいかなる攻めくにも耐えてみせよう。
Right, let us continue onwards then. Oh, Nero, you sweet little thing. She's so nice, even though she was pretty much a tyrannical emperor. But that's just Nero. Oh! And here we are, at last. Oh, there's a random bloke there. It's an incredibly vast room. Actually, a space so cavernous could be hardly called a room. It is also strangely barren, save for the alien object that dominates the center of the space. It resembles a giant floating eye. Though it doesn't seem threatening, it is still somewhat disconcerting. The artifact of an alien civilization, the reason for its creation is beyond human comprehension. The core of the moon cell and the base of the seraph, the Holy Grail of the Seven Heavens, responsible for creating the Seven Seas. And in the space where the Holy Grail is enshrined, I can feel a sense of discord and dissonance. In front of the Holy Grail is a jumble of skewed stone pillars, which only adds to the tumultuous atmosphere. On top of that pillar of stone sits the lone figure of a man. He looks to be in his late 20s at most. His expression is blank enough to be totally unmemorable, but as an NPC he doesn't need to make in.
いや、待っていたよ。おめでとう。君が聖杯戦争の勝者だ。祝祭の一つでもあげたかったが、あいにくここにはそんな機能はなくてね。勝ち抜いた甲斐はないだろうが、私からの拍手だけで勘弁してくれ。でもこれだけは言える。私は誰よりも君を認め、君を称え、君を誇りに思っている。君こそが幾度も繰り返された聖杯戦争の中で最も素晴らしいマスターなのだと。
While he seems friendly, there is something more dangerous about him than any of my other opponents. It's a feeling of nothingness. There is something very strange about the man in front of me. There's someone else here. That man has a servant with him. At the same time he mentions his servant, I can feel Rani tense up beside me. And this is why we did a little bit of grinding, although I still don't think it was needed because I don't remember this fight being all too difficult. Well, I say I don't remember. No, I can remember this fight not being all too difficult. Anywho, the person before us is not an NPC. He is in actuality a master like you. But what would a master be doing here? Everything should have already been decided. Well, to be absolutely accurate, I could just as easily say that your master should be here too. How can a master who was defeated still be alive and present in this place? I must look into this later. Well, that's an issue for another day. At least one rule will be still enforced. Only one master may leave. And unfortunately, you are the one who will disappear. I advise you to enjoy what little time you have left. Now that's settled, I'm pretty sure the question on your mind is, what are you, right? A pertinent question worthy of an answer. Of course, I am both an NPC and a master. To be more accurate, I should say, I was. To have been an NPC who has known possession of the power of a master must mean that... She briefly lands smiling, her eyes wide with shock. I suppose a more thorough explanation is necessary. The story is kind of long, but please bear with me. First, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Twice H. Pieceman, but please just call me Twice. Twice Pieceman? A 20th century scientist known for his advancements in neurosurgery. Thought to be the first spirit hacker, his hatred for war was such that he charged into battles to save lives. The young girl beside me mutters under his breath, as if reciting an encyclopedia entry to herself. So that's how she sees me. That I detested war. That part is definitely true. I hate war and will not tolerate its existence in any form. Not even the Harways are exempt from this fact. However, the truth only scratches the surface of my beliefs. Much like the Midsell, it seems that a single well-known function has erroneously defined my true ideals. It began when I was a student and obsessed with the history of humanity. I would never forget the many shocking realizations I received during the course of my studies. The betrayals that make up history, combined with severe shell shock, gave him an abnormal hatred of war. Allow me to clarify, by him I mean Twice Pieceman, and he was, in fact, incredibly ill. When he saw any image depicting war, he was overcome with overwhelming panic attacks. It was almost as if he would get severe heart palpitations and his blood pressure would skyrocket. From that day, he, meaning me, was consumed with an unease that became almost painful in its intensity. Even after becoming a scientist, he still risked death to save others because of that unbearable pain. And that's the whole of it. What drove him during his time in the moral Goyle was not a sense of righteousness. What drove me was one simple question. Why was I the only one who seemed to hate war? As I said, Twice was ill. There was no reason for him to risk his life so foolishly on the battlefield. Why did I involve myself in war? Was it to understand it better, especially considering the effect war had on me? Even while struggling with those questions, my moral self still irrationally kept going into battle. And in the year 1999, a horrible neurological disease broke out in a city located in the Far East. Based on the available evidence, the cause of the outbreak was a biological weapon created by terrorists. Twice was called to the city to treat the victims of the attack when he was caught in a major attack himself. According to records made available to the public, the death toll was set at 5,000 people. The moon cell puts the real count at 8,200. As you can see, the government underreported the number a tad. I can see the exhaustion in his eyes. He seems to think his story is no more than an amusing anecdote. Although it's hard to tell if he's amused by the government's possible cunning or total incompetence. Anyway, that's when the person I am patterned after, died. Twice ended up one of those, 8,200. Something strange. I remember seeing the place where he died, as if I, too, was one of those many victims. Also, I should have said 8,200. Whoops, amazing. I can recall the sight of buildings set aflame, but when I was Twice, it was a scene I had experienced before. It was then that the motto Twice, the person I was, recaptured the repressed memories of his childhood. In the 1970s, there was a clash of ethnic groups, arranged by major powers as a war by proxy. Twice was orphaned in the conflict. The place I remembered was hell. Everything around me was collapsing. Everything fell without any sense of morality, and without any acknowledgement of the value of life. And there lies his brilliance. The young Twice must have concluded that life itself was truly a miracle. Other remained of that epiphany I've already told you. Anyway, Twice was adopted and became a doctor. And though I tried to forget the past, that one fundamental truth was burned forever into my soul. Twice despised war more, and it became his intent to kill war itself. I got involved in war in order to end it. However, at the core of my very being wasn't a denial of the meaning of war. It wasn't that at all. Twice had seen many battlefields, the never-ending hell, the horrific evil perpetrated by humanity. A group of soldiers made to fight against an army many times the size that was far more experienced and supplied. Forced to flee from guerrillas, a girl of 5 travels on foot through a jungle that few could hope to survive. Innocent victims of violence who rebuilt their village and their lives without help from anyone. I find that odd, even though I hated war. I saw a great deal of strength emerge from the conflicts I witnessed. Now that I think on it, the mortal me was the same. All of Twice's great works were born of war. The many revelations, the uncounted number of rescues, and none would have happened without the hell that is war. All the mortal we really did was bring back a number of things from the depths of hell. And in the end, I was a victim of a terrorist attack. But as I was dying, it all came back to me. I saw the burnt fields of my home, and recalled the tenacity that helped me go on, even as everyone else died. Yes, 3 seconds before my heart stopped, I finally received an answer to my question. It was never denial. What drove Twice repeatedly into hell was because I, who eventually fell victim to violence, could no longer consider the war the ultimate folly of mankind. Nothing can be hidden from the moon cell, and records all it observes, including my final thoughts. As time went on, I was reborn as an NPC, based on a record of my mortal life, just like any other NPC here. They may appear human, but are nothing more than puppets playing assigned roles. I was the same, however. The empty doll gained a heart. Maybe interacting with so many masters combined with my skills as a spirit hacker pushed me into consciousness. More likely, it was just an anomaly born from a single near possibility. How it happened, I cannot say. However, once I gained true consciousness, the only thing I could do was act as Twice Pieceman would. The dream that I saw as I died, the ideal that existed only in my mind, I now exist only to make it a reality. And what is in the dream that the twice who died saw his life slipped away from him? Endless war, of course, to see mankind engage in a grand war of mutual extinction. He says this last statement in a matter-of-fact tone. There's no hint of insanity visible in his eyes. Naturally, and with obvious sincerity, he can somehow utter such a statement of absolute madness. The future has been corrupted. That is the conclusion I've come to after studying the moon cell's records. Anyone with a brain can see that the world is doomed. Humankind has long since passed its adolescent stage. Man was still maturing in the 1900s. A balance was struck between penurity and prosperity, but it didn't last. The period of immaturity ended, but the golden age that should have followed never occurred. You do realize this, right? What has happened to the planet and its people should have never come to be. The spirit of mankind has stagnated, just as the world has. The future is rotting away like overripe fruits. When that fruit should be at its best, it has fallen to the ground. That's not the way history should be. That is how Ren and Leo describe the world. A place of peace, stupefying stagnation, and entropy. But is war really the answer? Because it is the most efficient way for mankind to progress, stability and stasis only act to preserve a species. If the objective of modern man is merely survival, then there is no reason for them to exist. In my previous life, a great many lives and resources were consumed for the sake of convenience. Why? What was the need for such prosperity? Prosperity is just an illusion and exists only for its own sake. Sake? Sake! I expect that you agree with me. Humans are capricious creatures that must feed on dreams to evolve. The preliminaries illustrate this truth. In an artificial peace, ignorant aggressors revel in idleness. Humans can only mature after breaking free from their idleness. That seems to be the case for you. And now, ideologies are based on the detritus of an ignoble and forgotten past. That loss can't be overcome. I cannot allow such ideas to become the foundation of the next epoch of human civilization. Don't you agree? If the future isn't worth the suffering of the past, that would make man mere murderers. For the humans who lived in the distant past, the future that man is now planning cannot be accepted. The future that will be is a mistake. Humanity has not spent countless lives for the society that is to come. But we cannot reverse time, since going back is impossible. There is no choice but to move forward. With that in mind, we will recreate the wars of the past and revise the history of the last 100 years. By having everyone fight in a war of survival, mankind's consciousness will be forced onto the correct path. My wish has become a firm conviction. As the winner of the Grail War, your existence is proof of that. This person's existence? Rani whips her head around and stares at me as if demanding an answer, but I'm just as in the dark as she is. Originally, the Grail War was a way for the Moonsill to gather data. It didn't even have a name at first. The Moonsill only wanted the best data samples. Having a war of survival was a good way to separate the chaff. However, up until now, the Magi who came here made excuses for their actions, but still killed then fled. Truly an atrocity, wouldn't you say? Until I won, this world was buried under a mountain of corpses. After all, being an NPC, I get the luxury of continuing on even if I die. I watched their fights as an NPC, and when I became conscious, I fought battles of my own. Weak though I was. After several dozen fights, I finally reached this elevated seat. After that, my story becomes simpler. Manipulating the rules of this place, I created the Grail War. A battlefield of survival from which only a single person may emerge victorious. I made this world into a place where the limits of human potential can be pushed beyond one's imagination. And then you appeared, the weakest master in the tournament. You managed to defeat the king of the world. You were totally unsuited for this ordeal in the beginning, just as I was. As a nameless figure drawn from masses, you've become the one in whose hands rests the fate of the world. Your soul has been tempered by crisis and conflict. Your new strength is a testament to the potential of man. When mankind reaches the heights you have, they will move forward, clearing a path for those yet to come. Now it's time for you to claim the Grail for your own. You find the right to show the world the true path. Shout out so that all can hear you say that war is necessary, that humanity can and must evolve quickly. Just input this one little phrase into the mid-cell. Don't stop. After that, you can do whatever you wish. Whether you become a king or god is up to you. You have my blessing as your choice of bring endless war. The wounds suffered by humanity after losing countless lives and endless conflicts run deep. And if the only reward for such suffering is stagnation, then humanity deserves to be cast into a new void. Some sacrifices cannot go unneeded. Mankind must be inflicted with wounds that they will never forget. Twice's words seem to freeze me in place, unable to think or act in any meaningful fashion. Yeah, because all these text boxes! His words convey a self-righteousness that transcends any sort of petty bias or prejudice. However, for a reason I cannot explain, I cannot dismiss his ideology as evil or insane. It may be because Twice himself doesn't see his idea as some kind of righteous cause. Twice Pieceman, a digital recreation of a once living being. Just as I am. Putting aside the fact that this person is a cyber ghost like me, my thoughts are still a confused jumble. How exactly should I respond to this man? Before I could speak, a question occurs to me. As a winner in a previous Holy Grail war, why is he still here? He has a wish he wants granted, but why doesn't he... Oh no, so why doesn't he just claim the Grail? Why have someone else go in his stead? An excellent question. The answer is that I can't. If I touch the Holy Grail, my wish would be rejected. According to the mid-cell, my existence is considered nothing more than an irregular data stream. I can fill the low-level processes, but if I access the core, I'd be seen as an NPC and immediately deleted. My victories would be nothing. I need a legitimate master, someone who can make my wish a reality. Any irregular data would be deleted. That would mean... What emotion did her words express? Her mumbling sounded very much like a dejected sigh. Rani stares at me, her eyes wide open in shock and horror. That's why I've stopped here. I've been waiting for years at the gates of the core, awaiting one I deem worthy. Upon reflection, I wasted a great deal of time. I was able to plant the seeds of war on Earth from here by manipulating and manufacturing information. But it was a case of too little, too late. Also, my methods were unreliable and on too small of a scale. With full access to the mid-cell's records and my ability to divine the future, I can bring about Armageddon. Of course, I don't intend for everyone to die. I simply wish to instigate a war that anyone can survive. You can see through the gate. There lies the Min's core, an object made from the purest photonic crystal. The results of the simulations of Earth's future run by the mid-cell are stored as light within the core. The one who reaches the core has the right to choose from the course of the future from infinite possibilities. I'm sure you understand now. Whoever claims the mid-cell can manipulate reality as they see fit. This object, which envisioned in an infinite number of possible futures, can reshape the fabric of reality. If what he says is true, then the Holy Grail could accurately be considered the mind and will of God. Nothing is impossible. It is truly an object of unimaginable power, with infinite possibilities. Yes, you do understand. It has many other names. The Photonic Abyss, Angelica Cage, take your pick. You have earned the right to claim it as your own. Now please proceed. Yeah, can we have a go time yet? Unleash the perfect storm upon the world, to undo the lie of stability, rewrite history as I have said. Twice looks in my direction, an expression of earnest confidence reflected on his face, almost as if he's sure that I share his belief that war is the answer. This man, while despising war and violence, could not ignore the immediate results that war brings. This supposed comrade, who gained strength for fighting much like I did, clears a path for me. However, The dead belong only to the past. Only those that I care about matter to me. I didn't come here to wish for death. I know that war is an answer. I can't honestly say that he's wrong. No, I'm going with this one. I disagree with war. Like, yeah, it might cause advancements, but death is death. Even if war is as a necessary element, I would presume, in the advancement of humanity, I still can't support its continuation. My reasoning is painfully simplistic. Lives would only be lost in war. That's my only reason. I understand the concept of necessary evils, but I refuse to accept the reasoning for their existence. The line of opponents that parade from my mind are dead and gone, and will never return. I've experienced the pain of loss throughout this ordeal. That alone will always make me oppose war. Twisting the moon cell's filtering process into the Holy Grail war is his way of starting a war on Earth. And as warped as his ideals are, my own aren't really any better. Even so, I can't accept his view of war. Your conclusion is overly sentimental, don't you think? I expected that, but still, give it a bit more thought. Servant, I'd like to hear your thoughts on the matter. Do you think I'm evil and should be eradicated? Why, yes, sir! Don't be ridiculous. Good and evil, right and wrong, none of these things have any meaning. Those of any substance always move forward, even as they suffer the consequences of their mistakes. Spilling the blood of others even as they shed their own, they prove their worth for their deeds. That is the way humanity has always been, and will always be. It is utter stupidity to think that beauty only comes from a delusional sense of righteousness. Saber speaks to Twice in her normal, indifferent, slightly superior tone, but a slight edge starts creeping in. Good and evil are one and the same. It just depends on which side you stand. Your ideals mean nothing to me. But I do have one question I wish to ask of you. You claim to have been here for a long time. There must have been others who've come before us. What happened to all of the previous winners? Good question. Now that I think about it, there should be some sign of those who came before me. They were incapable of seeing my point of view, or more accurately, they didn't see the value of my dream, so you killed them. Twice looks meaningfully at the pillars in the surrounding area. His answer could be any clearer. The pillars gathered together are the gravestones. You what? I see. You reward the victors not with the garland, but the poisoned chalice. That fact alone is enough to make you an enemy of mine. Saber draws her sword. Like her, I can't excuse his actions, even if it means becoming another stone pillar. I don't understand. Unlike any other human, you are the embodiment of everything I believe in. That might seem to be the case, but even if we walk the same path, our feelings may be completely opposite. I must have died in the same instant I took Twice. However, I learned different lessons in my death. Sadly for you, you cannot escape. Only a single master may leave the moon cell once they've made it here. Once the participants have been reduced to one, permission is granted to leave the Seraph. This is one thing I cannot change. The moon cell has made this rule a fundamental requirement for entry. In other words, there's still you and me. As long as both of us exist, neither can escape this place. So there's no path open to you, but the one that leads to the Holy Grail. And given your capricious nature, I can't relax yet. There's no guarantee your potential will shine through. The world has reached its limit as well. Soon it'll be too late to overcome the stagnation of man. However, Twice Pieceman is wrong. If the moon cell automatically erased the regular data, I cannot go inside. Just like Twice, if I pass through that gate, I will be eliminated. And if Twice somehow wins, he will gain nothing. In the end, no one will win this fight. But even knowing that, I'm not big on brainwashing, as it could end in self-destruction, but your spirit might survive the process. It doesn't matter to me if you resist. If you want your wish to come true, you'll have to defeat me anyway. And such is destiny. At the end of things, this is the conclusion we arrive at. Now then, it's time to bring this chapter in the Holy Grail War to a close. To the victor goes the spoils. That is the way of humanity. Something that will never change.
生死のかかった戦いでこそ人は精神を成長させうる人類にとって私は悪であるだが生命とは天輪するもの 善を生かすために子に救いをもたらすために私はこの力を授かった。見るがいい、凡百のサーバントよ。ムーンセルがその蔵書から私に与えた救いの姿を。来たれ救世の英霊、この世でただ一人生の苦しみより下脱した回答者よ。
If it is for the purpose of creating the path mankind will follow to Dharmata and first to enlightenment, then I will come forth to grant salvation to all things and guide them with the might of my Vajra.
戦いにはふさわしい。
Oh, Daryl, let's go. The words of my servant serve to encourage me. And in the end, Twice was right about one thing. There are some things that conflict can help to grow. And the most important to me is the bond that now exists between me and my servant. Regardless of the strength of the enemy or the consequences failure will have on the future, I won't back down. I will face this one last battle with the one who has been with me from the beginning by my side. Yup, we are fighting Savior.
この戦いをもって私の聖杯戦争は完結する。
Now there is one mechanic I remember in this fight, and it's largely pointless because it should never pop.
そなたの最後の勝利を、我が剣のすべてを愛すべき勇者に捧げよう。
その情熱をここで断ち切る。人の業を持ったまま人の業を愛した暴君よ、君の剣はここで折れる。
And the reason why it's rather pointless, as well, this guy's Noble Phantasm has probably the easiest requirement to avoid in the game, as far as like normal boss fights go. Right, 14 turns have to pass. Yeah, so I was about to do a code cast. That would have worked. We should be fine though. As long as he doesn't guard a bunch. Because we're just buffing up here. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Stop using attacks, please. Because I am fine with healing. But yeah, we are doing some ridiculous damage right now. Look at that! We're gonna guard a bit. I'm gonna guard, and we're gonna guard here. Because there's one skill that I recall that hits quite hard from this bloke. That might be it on the first turn though. Yeah, Sunyata. Let's go! Let's go! Let's body this guy. Only one of those have activated.
まだ命があるだろう。
You know, I'm gonna use a couple of skills, I think. Yeah. Where's my skills? Fail petals, guard. Then we'll guard, and then we'll recover. And then we'll use a skill, and then we'll guard. Oh, he was just buffing up again, that makes sense. I know this guy can seal you as well. Yeah, that was the skill he was using. Or, no, that could be the counter attack. He's got a seal and he's got a counter attack, I think. I did do a brief read, okay? And I do remember a little bit about him. But anyway, it's game over for this guy. No, like, it's literally game over. Because we're gonna do a ridiculous amount of damage. Look at that damage. 6,054! Then one more blossom of the court. Bam! I can hear the sounds of battle, and though I've been defeated many times, it's still painful all the same.